When her message popped up on my screen, my chest tightened, but I forced myself to take slow, steady breaths. She had written, "Going on a sudden trip with my ex, hope you're okay." My fingers lingered above the keyboard, and instead of unleashing my anger, I calmly typed back, "No problem." She had no clue how much weight those two simple words carried. We'd been together for 3 years. In that time, I gave her my trust, my loyalty, and even built my future around us. I truly believed we were creating something permanent. But lately, I could feel her slipping away. The delayed replies, the flimsy excuses, the way she couldn't meet my eyes, it all spoke louder than words. Her message was only confirmation of what my instincts had already told me. I didn't argue. I didn't plead with her to stay. Instead, I chose silence and strategy. For weeks, I had been quietly preparing for this very moment. I knew she was still in contact with her ex, and rather than fight about it, I began collecting proof, screenshots, call records, photos, organized neatly in a folder. Her sudden trip wasn't sudden at all. I already knew their destination, the hotel they booked, even the exact time they planned to leave. Her ex had no idea his social media was wide open, and I'd been watching every move. That night, instead of drowning in misery, I called over a few close friends. They had seen my loyalty and knew how unfairly she treated me. When I explained my plan, they agreed I deserved better than being played for fool. My revenge, though, wouldn't be loud or destructive. It would be subtle, sharp, and irreversible. The next morning, while she packed for her so-called trip, I was moving my belongings out of the apartment. Everything I had bought, everything that mattered to me, I took with me. By the time she left, the place looked exactly like it had before I ever moved in. Completely bare. But I didn't stop there. She had always leaned on me for rent, bills, and expenses. Quietly, over time, I had shifted everything into her name. The lease, the utilities, even the credit card she assumed I was paying. By the time she came back, the financial burden would all be hers. As she enjoyed her getaway with her ex, posting smiles to her private story, I sent one final email to her parents. Attached were screenshots and evidence of her affair. My words weren't cruel, just factual. She valued their approval more than anything, so I let the truth speak for itself. And then I disappeared. I blocked her on every platform, changed my number, and erased all trace of myself. To her, it would feel as if I had vanished overnight, leaving her with the silence she never expected. When she returned, I later heard from mutual friends that she was stunned. The apartment was empty, unpaid bills stacked high, and her parents furious. Her ex, realizing the chaos she brought with her, cut ties within days. She suddenly had no one left to lean on. She tried reaching me through others, begging for answers, but I stayed silent. My no problem text had been the last thing she would ever receive from me, a final message that meant I would never fight for someone who had already chosen betrayal. In the weeks that followed, I focused on myself. I threw my energy into work, revisited old hobbies, and surrounded myself with people who truly valued me. The freedom I felt outweighed any love I had once given her. For the first time in a long while, I could breathe without suspicion. Meanwhile, she unraveled. Without her ex, without my support, and without her family's trust, she was left only with regret. I heard from others that she broke down often, saying she wished she had never sent that message. But life doesn't go backward. Every choice has its consequence. Months later, I saw her by chance. She looked worn, tired, and defeated. She tried to smile, but I simply nodded and walked on. That chapter was closed, and I had no interest in opening it again. In the end, her trip with her ex cost her everything, and all it took from me were two simple words: